Have you ever wondered if love could be summoned not by words or action, but by silent, invisible energy that pierces straight into the heart of another? What if the fastest way to manifest love wasn't through pursuit, but through pure imagination and soulful telepathic connection? Let us begin. When you desire to manifest love fast, you are not chasing a distant prize. You are revealing what already exists in the unseen. The one you love is not separate from you. There is no distance between souls, only a curtain of belief. The moment you choose to send telepathic messages not as a beggar pleading, but as a creator knowing, you touch their soul beyond time and space. Love, in its truest form, is not physical, it is vibrational. You become the love you seek. You must see them holding you, longing for you, adoring you, not someday, but now. This is how telepathic love communication works. You don't speak to their ears, you speak to their soul. Most ask, how long will it take? The answer is simple. As long as it takes for you to believe it is already done. The mind that asks how is the same mind that doubts. To attract a specific person fast, you must bypass logic and step into vision. You must talk to them inwardly, sweetly, deliberately, with the certainty that they hear you. Speak within, you miss me. You love me. You feel my presence. Say it until their image smiles back. Your inner conversations, when filled with emotional certainty, create the outer reality. That is the hidden architecture of manifesting love using imagination. You assume the end. You act from it. You breathe as though the love has already arrived. Now let's explore the deeper truth. You see, to truly manifest love, you must break free from the illusion that anything outside you is responsible for your connection. Love is not about hoping or waiting. It's about embodying. The subconscious mind and love are inseparable partners. Whatever you impress consistently upon the inner mind is reflected as experience. So begin each day in stillness. Close your eyes. Hear their voice calling your name. Feel their hand in yours. Believe that the message has been sent, not through effort, but through knowing. This is not fantasy, it is creation. A true vibrational match in love does not beg, it aligns. The one you desire is pulled into your world not by need, but by certainty. They will feel it, a sudden urge to contact you, a dream, a thought, a longing. That is telepathy and soul connection at work. When you're manifesting a soulmate, don't look outward. Become the version of you who is already loved. Dress as if you're meeting them tonight. Smile as though they just texted you. It is this psychological alchemy that draws them in. Quantum love attraction is not magical. It's mechanical. You shift into a state and the universe responds. The more you live in the reality of being loved, the more evidence comes. Every moment of doubt delays. Every moment of belief accelerates. So send messages with your mind not to persuade, but to declare. You are not asking them to love you. You are remembering that they already do. And as you live in the end of that truth, the outer world bends to your assumption. You are not separate. You are connected by thought, by feeling, by vision. All love is an echo of what you first dared to imagine. Imagination is the spiritual force that knows no boundaries. It does not recognize separation, distance, or time. It works in the invisible realm, untouched by the laws of limitation, unaffected by the evidence of the senses. What one vividly imagines consistently and with emotion sets unseen forces into motion. Forces that obey the language of faith, not fear. When one understands this truth, one no longer begs, waits, or wonders. Instead, one declares, knowing that what is held steadily in mind will crystallize in due season. When it comes to love, this power of imagination becomes sacred. For love is not a transaction, not a bargain, not a chase. Love is vibration. And that vibration is most potently transmitted through the pictures and words we entertain within. To send a telepathic message that touches another's soul, one need not speak aloud or even be in the same city. One only needs the image of the beloved held tenderly and faithfully in the mind's eye, paired with the feeling of already being adored. This is the secret. Imagination, when fused with belief, becomes the perfect transmitter. You may ask, how do I know they hear me? You know because you are not separate. In the great spiritual blueprint, all are connected through thought. The person you long for is not elsewhere. They exist in the realm of your consciousness. When you think of them, speak to them within, feel their presence, and declare your union, you activate a current, a silent but unstoppable wave of energy that travels beyond logic and lands directly in the heart. Now let us consider the opposite. When one imagines with fear, uncertainty, or desperation, they also send a message. But that message is tainted. It becomes a cry, not a call, a signal of need rather than power. And what does the law return? More need, more waiting, more separation. The creative substance does not interpret your intention. It mirrors your dominant impression. Therefore, one must be vigilant in the images one entertains. If you see your person turning away, delaying, or forgetting you, that too becomes a command to the unseen. The law responds always to what you accept as true. It is not the occasional wish that bears fruit, but the sustained image, consistent, confident, and emotionally alive. The universe is not swayed by one moment of passion, but by the quiet, unwavering certainty that what has been conceived in thought must appear in form. The person who speaks inwardly with love, sees their partner embracing them, hears their voice in silence, and walks daily as if it is already so. This is the one who masters the art of telepathic creation. You may ask, must I repeat my vision all day? The answer is no, not in anxiety, but in trust. Once a picture is firmly planted, repetition serves only to water it, not out of panic, but out of pleasure. A joyful return to the scene is a form of worship. But to repeat it fearfully, wondering if it worked, is to dig up the seed. Therefore, speak to your beloved inwardly, not as someone absent, but present. Say, you love me. I feel you thinking of me. We are one. Say it not to convince them, but to convince yourself. For once you are convinced, the outer world cannot help but follow. The person you wish to connect with does not need to consciously receive your message for it to be effective. Their conscious mind may be unaware, but their subconscious is wide open. And your message, if saturated with feeling and belief, will reach them like a soft whisper in a dream. They may awaken thinking of you. They may feel an urge to call, to search, to reach. They may not even understand why, but the divine current has been touched. You must remember, all manifestation begins in the unseen. The outer world is the final echo, not the origin. So many make the mistake of reacting to what they see and abandoning the picture within. They say, but nothing has happened. That is the very reason why it delays. You must be still and know. You must walk in the invisible long before the visible appears. Imagination is not fantasy. It is the architect of all reality. The invisible is not a lesser place. It is the birthplace of form. Think of imagination as a sacred brush. Each thought paints the canvas of tomorrow. Each emotion energizes the color. When you imagine your beloved holding you, speaking your name, smiling into your eyes, and when you pair that vision with gratitude and certainty, you activate the full spiritual law. The message is sent, not through wires or screens, but through vibration, through energy, through the divine law that says, As within, so without. It is wise, then, to turn off the senses for a time each day. Sit quietly, close your eyes, and dwell not on the absence, but on the fullness. Picture only what you desire to see, feel only what you wish to receive. Make no space for doubt or logic. Let imagination lead and belief follow. For it is not the eyes that create the world, but the vision behind them. Thus, if you would touch their soul, do so through the power given freely to all the power of imagination. Let it be pure, let it be steady, let it be filled with joy. The universe is listening, and so is the one you love. Speak without lips. embrace without hands. Send the message of certainty, and it shall return fulfilled. To manifest love swiftly, one must first understand a law far deeper than action or effort, the law of being. You cannot desire a thing and expect it to arrive while living in the absence of it. Desire is not fulfilled by longing, but by embodiment. The secret lies in assuming the end, in living as if the love is already yours. Not tomorrow, not later, but now. The mind is the only creative power in this world, and its movements are determined by states of consciousness. Your world does not reflect your words, it reflects your inner state. If you believe yourself to be unloved, abandoned, forgotten, no amount of outer action can produce lasting change. But the moment you enter the state of being loved, truly dwell in it, your world bends to accommodate it. You must become so familiar with the feeling of love returned, of union established, that you forget you were ever without it. You do not pretend or play, you live from it. There is a vast difference between hoping for love and being the one who is already loved. The former delays, the latter delivers. Ask yourself, what would I feel right now if my person were already mine? Would I walk differently, think differently? Would I still check the phone in worry, or would I rest in peace, knowing the call is inevitable? That shift in feeling is the beginning of the miracle. You must train the inner eye to see what the outer has yet to confirm. Do not concern yourself with how it will happen. That is not your task. The how belongs to the unseen intelligence that governs all things. Your only responsibility is to remain faithful to the end, to construct in your imagination the scene that would naturally follow the fulfillment of your desire, and to dwell in it night and day until it hardens into fact. Perhaps you imagine walking hand in hand with your person, hearing their voice, receiving their message. Perhaps it's the relief of knowing they chose you, the warmth of their embrace, the certainty of their love. Whatever the scene, feel it so vividly that it eclipses the outer world. When the inner becomes more real than the outer, manifestation is near. It is a profound truth that what you accept as true becomes your experience. Therefore, if you accept that you are already in the perfect relationship, the world must reflect it. It cannot do otherwise, but most live backwards. They wait to see before they believe, to receive before they assume. And in that waiting, they create more delay. To manifest love fast, you must claim it in silence. Not with frantic affirmations, but with calm knowing. You must sit in the stillness and say within, I am already loved. I am already chosen. I am already wanted. And from that state, you act, not to force love, but to express the truth of your being. Imagine waking up beside your person, not merely in fantasy, but in feeling. Feel the weight of their presence, the way their energy fills the space. Hear their voice in your mind. See their smile. Speak inwardly as if they are already there. Good morning, my love. I missed you. I'm so grateful for you. This is not make-believe. This is creation. All things exist. Every outcome, every possibility is already written in the invisible. You select the version of reality you wish to experience by the state you occupy. When you enter the state of already being in love, already being with the one you want, you collapse all other possibilities, and the universe begins rearranging itself to reflect your choice. It may come through unexpected channels, through strange incidents or coincidences. Do not question them. The bridge of events will appear, and you must walk it with faith. But that bridge cannot form unless you are firmly anchored in the end. If you wobble between wanting and doubting, between imagining and reacting, you weaken the signal. Let the world say what it will. Let the delay appear real. You remain fixed in the vision. You act as one who already possesses the love you once longed for. This is not arrogance. It is alignment. The world is a mirror. It cannot reflect the opposite of your dominant assumption. So assume wisely, assume boldly, assume lovingly. Your desire is not random. It is divine instruction. If you feel called to a person, drawn to them in the depths of your being, then trust that the path to union is already laid. But you must walk it in consciousness before you walk it in life. Each moment you dwell in the feeling of being loved, you water the seed. Each time you react to appearances, you dig it up. Persist in the assumption. Let the assumption become your dwelling place, your emotional home. Think from it, not of it. Do not ask, when will they come? But rather say, they are already mine. In that inner declaration lies the entire creative power of the universe. You become what you believe yourself to be. The moment you believe you are loved, you are. The outer will follow, as surely as night follows day. Love is not chased. It is summoned through identity. So live it now. Feel it now. And soon, very soon, it will show itself in form. Every word spoken within is a seed. Every sentence, a silent decree that shapes the fabric of your outer world. It is not what you say aloud to others that matters most. It is what you say to yourself when no one else is listening. These inner conversations, quiet and unassuming, are the architects of your fate. In love, they are the blueprint from which your romantic experiences are built. If one desires a change in relationship, a reunion with a specific person, or the arrival of a new love, it must begin not with action, but with thought. For the true cause of every condition is unseen. A person may say with their lips, I am loved, and yet speak inwardly, I am always abandoned. And so they live not by the words they speak into the air, but by the words they echo in the mind. The outer romantic life is simply a mirror held up to these inner monologues. To master love, one must master these conversations. You must begin to listen to yourself, not with judgment, but with awareness. When you think of your person, what do you hear? Is it sorrow, longing, fear? Or is it joy, connection, and certainty? Whatever tone you hold within, that is the signal you send, and that signal cannot return void. The beloved hears not your pleas, but your vibration. They respond not to your silence, but to your assumption. If your inner speech repeats, they don't care, or they've moved on, or I'm not enough, then do not be surprised when the world confirms those declarations. You have already decreed it. But if you change that speech, if you say within, they miss me deeply, or they are always thinking of me, or we are one, then the world must rearrange itself to validate your new script. One may ask, how often must I do this? And the answer is, as often as you wish to see change. Inner speech is not a performance, it is a state. You don't rehearse it once and walk away. You become it. You live in the world of fulfilled desire through the words you whisper inside. You wake up and hear their voice in your mind. You go to sleep with their arms around you in imagination. You move through your day repeating, I am loved, I am chosen, I am adored. These are not just words, they are creative commands. The subconscious does not understand fiction versus reality. It accepts the dominant impression and brings it forth. So you must flood the mind with the romance you desire until it feels natural. Naturalness is the key. When your inner speech becomes casual, normal, expected, then manifestation is close at hand. There is no need to wait for the person to appear before you change your story. That is the trap of the senses. The world is delayed reflection. To demand proof before belief is to surrender your creative power. Instead, turn within. Construct a dialogue where your person says everything your heart longs to hear. Let them confess their love. Let them apologize. Let them pursue you. Hear it, feel it, and most importantly, believe it. Your faith in the reality of inner speech transforms it into outer fact. The person may feel compelled to reach out, to explain themselves, to admit their feelings. Not because you forced them, but because the bond created within was strong enough to pierce through resistance. Thought travels. Words unspoken echo across the field of consciousness. You are always speaking into the infinite, And so you must become aware of your daily mental chatter. Every complaint, every doubt, every replay of rejection is a rehearsal of pain. Break the cycle. Write a new script. Every time the mind wanders back to the old story, gently correct it. Speak again the truth you wish to embody. This is not self-deception. It is self-creation. When you take full control of your inner conversations, you no longer beg love to come to you. You draw it. You magnetize it. Because the one who is deeply in love within cannot be unloved without. The one who feels adored will be adored. It is law. There is no exception. Romance is not found. It is spoken into being. The sweetest declarations are not those whispered between lips, but those whispered in silence. And the beloved, whether near or far, hears it all. The deeper self of your person responds to the version of them you hold in imagination. If you think of them as cold, distant, indifferent, then they become so. But if you think of them as affectionate, devoted, drawn to you, then they must return in kind. This is why you must be deliberate with your thoughts. Train your inner voice like an actor perfecting a role. Do not say what you feel. Say what you choose, and say it often. Until the mind no longer questions it. Until your heart beats in rhythm with the words, "We are together. All is well. This love is mine. The universe is listening." And more importantly, so is the one you love. Your outer romantic experience is nothing more than a reflection, an echo, a mirror of your inner assumptions. What you assume to be true about love, about yourself, and about your worthiness of affection is etched deeply into the subconscious mind, and it is from this well that life draws your visible experiences. The subconscious is not moved by begging, nor by wishing, nor even by words alone. It is moved by feeling, by assumption, by the conviction that something is already true. It is a divine servant, impersonal and unwavering. Whatever you accept as fact in the depths of your being is precisely what it expresses through the circumstances, behaviors, and people around you. If you believe deep down that love is hard to find, that people always leave, or that you are destined to be alone, then no outer effort can overcome that hidden belief. You may affirm otherwise with your lips, but your reality will always align with your core assumption. This is the law. The subconscious knows only obedience. It creates not what you want, but what you are convinced is real. So if you wish to change your love life, if you long for a specific person, or the return of affection, or a new romantic beginning, you must begin not by searching outward, but by reshaping the inner concept. Ask yourself honestly, what do I truly believe about love? Do I feel worthy of it? Do I believe it comes easily to me? Or is there a quiet story running beneath the surface, one that whispers of rejection, distance, or lack? You must uncover that story and rewrite it. For as long as you accept limitation within, limitation will greet you without. The subconscious mind is the womb of creation. It cannot produce what has not first been conceived. A new reality in love must be planted in the soil of belief and watered with repetition, feeling, and vision. Suppose someone desires reconciliation with a person they love. They may speak affirmations, visualize reunion, even behave outwardly as if they are in a relationship. But if beneath those actions lies the belief that they are not wanted, that they were wronged, or that the person has moved on, then the subconscious will faithfully produce experiences that match those beliefs. It does not argue. It simply fulfills. The task, then, is not to manipulate others, but to transform the self, to assume, with sincerity and confidence, that love is not only possible, but inevitable, that it is natural to be chosen, that the specific person longs for you as deeply as you long for them. These assumptions may seem bold, even foolish, to the rational mind, but to the subconscious, they are commands. And here lies the great secret. The subconscious accepts the dominant impression, not the occasional one. A brief moment of belief, followed by hours of doubt, will not yield results. But but consistent inner certainty, even in the face of outer silence, will move mountains. You must dwell in the end. You must think from the state of already being loved, not toward it. This is not imagination for amusement. It is imagination as creation. You speak inwardly. They adore me. They are thinking of me. I am always on their mind. And you do not merely recite these words. You feel them. You breathe as though they are true. You carry yourself with the dignity of one who is already loved. In this way, the subconscious is gently reprogrammed. Its old assumptions dissolve and new truths take root. And soon, without force or manipulation, life begins to mirror the new inner state. The person calls. The meeting happens. The relationship forms or is restored, not through effort, but through alignment. You may observe that others seem to fall into love easily, that some are constantly adored or pursued, while others remain alone despite effort. The difference lies not in fate, but in assumption. One may assume, without question, that they are irresistible, magnetic, beloved, and so they are. Another may assume they are always overlooked, and so they are. The outer world is not random. It is ruled by the unseen currents of belief. To shift these currents, you must saturate your inner world with the image of what you desire. Visualize it often. Speak it inwardly. And most of all, feel that it is already done. Do not wait for outer proof. Be the proof. Let the world catch up to your new assumption. It will without fail. And if doubt arises, do not fight it. Replace it. Gently return to your vision. Remind yourself, this is the truth I choose. For the subconscious is not changed through force, but through persistence. Over time it yields. And when it does, the shift is effortless, organic, and complete. Thus, if you wish to be loved, assume it now. If you wish to be wanted, walk in that truth. Let your inner dialogue match the life you seek. For in the sacred silence of the subconscious, the seeds of romance are sown. And what is sown there, with feeling and faith, must bloom in the world of form. The great mistake many make in love is to believe that action is the highest power. That if only they do more, say more, chase harder, or force communication, then love will respond. But love, in its purest form, does not yield to outer effort. It responds only to alignment, to the vibrational atmosphere you carry within. The one you long for is not moved by pressure, but by energy. And your energy is not in your words or gestures. It is in the state of consciousness from which you operate. If you are in the state of lack, where you see yourself separate from the one you desire, every action you take, even if loving, will be saturated with absence. You may reach out, but they will feel the vibration of need. You may speak kindly, but they will sense the undercurrent of desperation. The truth is subtle but absolute. Nothing can come to you that is not in vibrational harmony with who you believe yourself to be. You are always broadcasting. Without speaking, without texting, without showing up at their door, you are sending out a signal. That signal is your state. It is the sum of your thoughts, feelings, assumptions, and expectations. It declares silently to the world who you are and what you believe you are worthy of. That signal is what attracts or repels every experience you live. If you believe you are unloved, unchosen, forgotten, that signal echoes through the unseen realms. And the one you desire feels it. Not consciously, perhaps, but inwardly they sense it. You become invisible to them, not because you are unworthy, but because your vibration is out of alignment with the state of being loved. But the moment you shift, truly shift, and dwell in the feeling of already being adored, of already being connected, of already being one with the person you long for, everything begins to change. You do not have to chase. You do not have to convince. You have only to become the version of yourself who is already in union. And once that internal union is real to you, the external will mirror it with uncanny precision. This is the art of alignment. It is not mental effort. It is not forcing positive thoughts. It is not pretending, it is assuming. To assume the feeling of love fulfilled. To rise in the morning and feel, today I am loved. Today I am in the vibration of connection. Not because the outer world said so, but because you have chosen it inwardly. When you stand in this vibration, calm, knowing, unshaken, you become magnetic. The person you desire will feel it. They may not understand why they are suddenly thinking of you, why they feel drawn, why the distance they once chose now feels uncomfortable. It is because the spiritual tether between you has been activated, and that tether is not bound by time or space or logic. It is tuned to vibration alone. Some may say, but I reached out and they didn't respond. Others may say, I tried everything. Affirmations, visualizations, scripting, and nothing worked. But the truth is, none of those things carry power unless they are done from the right state. Words without feeling are empty. Actions without belief are hollow. What matters is not the tool, but the atmosphere from which it is used. You must examine yourself. Do I feel as though I already have what I want? Or do I feel as though I am still waiting, still hoping, still lacking? Because whatever you feel most consistently, you attract. If you live in the state of waiting, you attract more waiting. But if you live in the state of, it is already done, you summon the evidence of its fulfillment. To align vibrationally is to drop resistance, to stop asking how, to stop checking the physical world for signs. It is to rest in the knowing that your assumption is truth. And from that truth, all things must form. You may still take action, but it will not be frantic. It will be inspired. And even if you take no action, the world will act for you. For when the inner is in place, the outer becomes obedient. You are not separated from your person. That idea exists only in the conscious mind. In truth, you are already one with them in the field of spirit. And your alignment, your emotional frequency, is the bridge between this inner union and outer expression. When you choose the state of being loved, consistently and with feeling, you step onto that bridge. You become a match for your own desire, and no desire can be withheld from the one who is already it. This is not manipulation. It is creation. You are not bending another's will. You are awakening the version of them that already loves you. You are calling forth the reality in which your love is mutual. And that version exists. All realities exist. But you must align with the one you desire to experience. Not with words, not with force, but with being. Let others chase, beg, plead. You will know the secret. You will become the one who receives love not by striving, but by becoming the vibration of love itself. And in that still, inner certainty, everything you once thought distant will draw near. The connection between souls is not forged through pleading, longing, or emotional chaos. It is built through stillness, through deep inner certainty. No union of hearts is born from panic. No lasting love is sculpted by desperation. The soul does not respond to noise, it responds to vibration. And that vibration must be one of knowing, of quiet, unwavering faith in what already is. You are not separate from the one you love. Though the senses may argue, though the outer world may show delay, absence, or indifference, the truth exists in the unseen. You are connected. That connection is not sustained by effort, but by assumption. You do not beg for love. You become love. You do not chase the person. You become the one they cannot help but be drawn to. Desperation is the state of being convinced that what you want is far away, that you must grasp for it, search for it, plead with life to deliver it. But in doing so, you declare to the universe that you do not have it. And the universe, being the faithful mirror that it is, simply echoes back that truth. You cannot experience union while living in the frequency of separation. You must shift. Certainty, however, is a different realm entirely. It is the silent declaration that the bond already exists, that the love is already present, that the connection, even if unseen, is realer than what the senses can perceive. Certainty says, They feel me. They are thinking of me now. Our souls are already intertwined. And it is from this knowing that the bridge of events begins to unfold. A soul connection is not bound by time. It is not delayed by circumstances or silenced by silence. It moves beyond logic. It transcends what can be explained. But it will only respond to the energy that matches its truth. It will not awaken under the energy of fear. It will not flower in the soil of doubt. It must be met with the energy of completion, of fulfillment, of faith. When one clings to the need for proof, they unknowingly sever the flow. They say, "Why haven't they contacted me?" Or, "What if they've moved on?" Or, "How can I make them see me?" And every one of these thoughts is born not from love, but from lack. The soul feels this. The one you desire feels it. And so they remain still or even pull away, not because they do not care, but because the vibration you send does not match the outcome you seek. Now consider the one who moves in certainty. They close their eyes, and they feel the connection. They speak inwardly to their person with love, not with need. They say, "You are with me. You love me. You feel this bond as deeply as I do." And they say it not to convince the other, but to convince themselves, to become the reality they wish to experience. And so it is. You must understand that no word you speak inwardly is lost. The deeper self of your person hears you, not through ears, but through the fabric of the unseen, through the thread that binds all consciousness together. When you speak from certainty, that thread tightens. That pull becomes magnetic. That bond begins to echo in their heart, and they may not understand why, but they feel it. They feel you. Desperation speaks from the state of, "I am without." Certainty speaks from the state of, "I am with." Desperation waits, watches, and doubts. Certainty rests, trusts, and knows. Desperation sends messages and hopes for a reply. Certainty sends vibration and expects alignment. These are two entirely different states of being, and they create two entirely different outcomes. You are always creating, not by what you do, but by what you are. And you are what you assume to be. If you assume you are connected, you are. If you assume the bond is alive, it is. If you assume the person feels your presence, they do. But the assumption must be pure, not polluted by doubt, not strangled by timelines. It must be complete. This is why imagination is so vital. When you imagine, you are not escaping reality, you are constructing it. You enter into the scene that would be natural if the connection were already whole. You hear their voice, you feel their embrace. You say within, "We are one," and you mean it. You dwell in that scene until it becomes the atmosphere of your being. And once it does, life must conform. You are not at the mercy of outer events. You are not waiting for them to wake up, to text first, to apologize. You are initiating the connection from within. And as the cause is placed in consciousness, the effect is born in the world. It is law. You cannot fail if you remain faithful to your assumption. The soul is not moved by external action. It is stirred by internal truth. When your truth becomes that of union, the soul responds. When your frequency matches love fulfilled, the other cannot help but feel it. And soon, that feeling becomes thought. That thought becomes impulse. That impulse becomes action. And the bridge is crossed. So speak from love, not longing. Rest in the union. Walk as one already chosen. And let the invisible thread between you pull gently, but powerfully, until the connection reveals itself, not as something created, but as something remembered. Certainly. Here is the conclusion of your full Neville Goddard style speech series on Manifest Love Fast, Send Telepathic Messages that Touch Their Soul, drawing together all 6 keynote expansions in a unified, educational, symbolic tone, without subheadings or mention of Neville Goddard. In the great divine mystery of love, nothing is ever lost, only delayed by disbelief. You are not here to chase, to beg, or to suffer for affection. You are here to remember that the power to love and be loved already exists within you. And that power is imagination fused with faith. It is not outer effort that brings your person into your life, but the quiet certainty of union already achieved. You are the operant power, always creating through your assumptions. When you imagine vividly, feel deeply, and persist faithfully, the entire universe begins to echo your state. Telepathic messages are not fantasy. They are the spiritual language of belief. What you speak in silence, what you feel as already true, is what reaches the soul of the one you love. They feel it, they hear it, they respond. Not always in the moment you expect, but in the hour appointed by your unwavering knowing. Your subconscious does not question, it accepts. And so, when you declare within, I am already loved, you do not need to see the outer world reflected instantly. You know that it must. You remain still in the vision, for the one who is unmoved by appearances will find the world moves for them. You no longer ask when. You no longer ask how. You walk in the end. You assume the feeling of love fulfilled. You speak from that state. You carry yourself in that state. And as you do, the one you love begins to remember you. Not just in thought, but in energy. Their soul hears your message, not out of longing, but from alignment. No effort in the world can create what your inner world does not already hold as real. You must become the love you seek. You must imagine the conversations already shared, the laughter already lived, the connection already sealed. And when doubt arises, you do not argue with it. You return to the scene, to the voice, to the feeling. You persist. You are not separated. There is no distance in consciousness. There is only alignment or misalignment. When you become vibrationally one with your desire, nothing can stop it. The person you love is not outside of you. They are within your own consciousness. As you revise your inner speech, assume a new identity, and rest in the energy of already having, the world bends to reflect the change. And so you release fear, you abandon desperation, and you live in the deep peace of knowing. The message has been sent. The bridge is forming. The connection is active. The love you desire is already yours, and it is only a matter of unfolding. What you now dare to assume in the silence, you will soon embrace in form.